number 60 offense, still first down.
Eric Moore. Here is the Dallas defensive line. Stubbs, who got Sims, Dean Hamill, Danny Noonan, and Jim Jeffcoat. The defensive line, the linebackers, Jack Del Rio, Eugene Lockhart, and Ken Norton. And in the secondary for the Cowboys, Isaac Holt and Robert Williams are the cornerbacks, Ray Horton and Vince Albritton the safeties. 1st and 20 on the 13-yard line. Ottis Anderson with his start. And the carry doesn't get much. Good pursuit. Isaac Holt came up from the secondary to help Jack Del Rio. The rest of the Giant offense, the line, John Elliott, William Roberts, Bart Oates, the center, Eric Moore and Doug Riesenberg, the tackle. Mark Bavaro is the tight end. Ottis Anderson making his first start. Maurice Carthon with him at fullback. And the wide receivers are Mark Ingram and Odessa Turner. But now it'll be second down and long, 2nd and 17. And Hampton and Meggett come in the game as receiving threats. Stubbs.
Danny, you got him once, but you can't go quite that early.
Offside, number 96 defense, still second down.
Bill Parcells yesterday, talking to us about Stubbs, said very simply, we wonder which Daniel Stubbs is going to show up. The one that was so impressive in parts of that game last week, or the one who just seemed to be kind of trying to figure out what he was supposed to do. Well, the question was answered on the first play, but I'm not so sure that he hasn't added another question on that play.
Bill Bates has come in the game, and he is going to be an important defensive man in the nickel package. Manny Hendricks and Ron Francis extra backs. 2nd and 12. Rodney Hampton, the rookie who has looked so good, brings it out to the 23-yard line where Danny Noonan makes the stop. Hampton, one of the young backs that gives Phil Simms and the Giants a new dimension from that spot.
A dangerous receiver out of the backfield, also a fine runner and a good blocker. One of those juniors who opted to come into the NFL early. The Giants with a stable of running backs, and I tell you, that's bad news if you're a defensive player.
3rd and 10. Lionel Manuel and Stephen Baker in the game. 4 wideouts. Sims up the middle has Meggett, and Meggett fights his way for a first down beyond the 35-yard line. Vince Albritton and Bill Bates combine to make the stop on really one of the dangerous young players in the game.
He's so dangerous if he can get into space as he does here. And Sims said something interesting to me. He said, with the people we have now offensively, we can make the big plays without taking the big risks. Throwing a short pass to Meggett, for example, can break the big yardage. Sims has not had that luxury as a quarterback.
Gain of 13 yards, 1st and 10 on the Giant 36. Here's Ottis Anderson trying to go wide. Makes the turn. He got by Del Rio, but Robert Williams stormed in from his cornerback position. But a healthy gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and short.
Ottis Anderson, last year, the workhorse back for these New York Giants, mostly tackle to tackle. Here today, they've crossed up this Dallas defense by taking Ottis outside.
Giants with 2 tight ends now. Bavaro joined by Howard Cross, who's wearing a cast on broken left hand. 2nd down and 3. Maybe a false start in the snap between Oates and Sims. We'll wait for the call.
Maybe there's not going to be a call. No, I guess it was considered a play. Ball on the ground. Going to be 3rd down and about 4.5 yards to go. Parcells, you might guess that he is not very happy with a wasted down.
So the Giants bring in Hampton and Baker and Lionel Manuel. 7-7 is Parcells' record against the Cowboys. Giants have won the last 4. 3rd down and 4. The 42. Sims has time, and he completes it to Hampton, who gets into Cowboy territory. Bill Bates makes the tackle. It'll be a first down and a pickup of 12 yards.
Such a tremendous advantage to be able to put those quick backs out into short yardage and get the matchups against the linebackers. Hampton, an excellent receiver, and knows how to run with that football once he gets it.
And a test for the Dallas defense, which really played solid football down the stretch of last year and played well last week in the win over the Chargers.
Well, they were the strength of this team toward the end of last year, but that's not saying a lot. There was not much strength on this Dallas team last
First
year.
and 10, Ottis Anderson runs hard into Del Rio and is tackled but picks up about 4 on the play.
This defense, of course, playing in a different philosophy too than they played for under Tom Landry. They used to be a read and react team. They are now a very aggressive slashing type defense, an attack type defense, and of course that means that Eugene Lockhart going to be freed up behind that line a lot more. Lockhart's had a great season last year and certainly played extremely well through the preseason this year.
Ball on the Cowboy 43. Penalty marker is down. Anderson dives what would be close to a first down yardage. Making the stop is Danny Noonan.
An embarrassing moment for the Tasmanian Devil, Hamill, as he jumped offside. Now, you don't get called defensively if you get back. And he jumped back, threw himself back, ended up on the ground. And I think Eric Moore just dove on him, laid right on top of him.
Hamill, of course, remembers playing against the Giants when he was a member of the Redskins. And he had a pulled groin muscle and was questionable for this game. Somehow you knew Hamill was going to be in there.
Well, I tell you, that a pulled muscle doesn't bother you as much on a hot day like this as it would on a cold day. But Hamill's a gamer.
Right now, Jerry Seaman is explaining to Phil Simms the options. First, they're going to measure to see whether the Giants picked up the first down. 9:23 remaining in the first quarter. Giants started from their 18-yard line. It was the 18. They returned the opening kickoff to the 23 and then were penalized. They are short of a first down by less than a yard.
76 defense, still second down.
Had they picked up the first down, I think they'd have refused the penalty, gone ahead with the first down, but this gives them the down over, moves the ball ahead. Almost a throwaway down here for the Giants.
Now the officials are going to confer again, and
they're just respotting the ball. Just respotting that ball, making sure they got the 5 yards.
One of the things that Bill Parcells told us yesterday is that he wants Phil Simms with the faster players to get rid of the ball early, and that has caused a little bit of a clash with them in preseason.
He worries about Simms being too tough. Now, it sounds kind of strange, but Simms is the guy who will hang on to that till that last possible second. Parcells wants that ball out of there quickly because he wants Simms healthy, and he doesn't want the risk of the interception or the sack.
Second down and 2 on the 38. Simms with a lot of time again, and wide open is Mark Bavaro with his first reception of the year, and he'll have a first down close to the 20-yard line, a pickup of 16 yards. Ray Horton, the free safety, on the tackle.
Such an important play to see Mark Bavaro be back in the mix, be downfield, doing what he does so well, finding the holes in the defense. Look at that room there, knowing exactly how to attack that zone, getting himself in position, and Simms with all kinds of time, right in the money.
Bavaro smartly goes down, didn't want to challenge the defense, but the injured knee coming back. Ottis Anderson gets to the 20 and a gain of 2 yards. Eugene Lockhart makes his first tackle of the game with help from Noonan. Second down coming up.
Eugene, a hitting machine, 222 tackles. He led the NFL last year. Now, that's not a great stat. He admitted it yesterday. He said that meant there were a lot of guys missing tackles. He doesn't expect to be close to that this year, but he's still going to be doing exactly the same kind of things and still be a great impact player.
Billy Broughton has come in the defensive line. David Howard at linebacker on 2nd and 8. Trying to make something out of very little. Doesn't do a bad job of it anyway, getting out of bounds at the 19-yard line, picking up 1 yard on the play. Vince Albritton chased him out of bounds.
You can almost sense the relief of the Giants as they've gotten out of the sun now, moving left to right. They've gone from the sunny spot in the field to the shady part. And I was down on that field earlier. When you walk out of that shade and into that sun, it's like somebody hanging a blowtorch right over the top of you. You can't believe how hot it is.
I noticed you didn't stay down there too long.
Not long, trust me.
3rd down and 7 on the Dallas 19. Sims. And with the reception is Ingram. The ball knocked out of his hands, and the Cowboys recover in the end zone for a touchback. Big defensive play. Ron Francis made the recovery in the end zone, but Mark Ingram got hit, and a big defensive play by Dallas gives them the ball.
The kind of play that Jimmy Johnson hoped for early in this game. You do everything right if you're the Giants. You've got the man, you get him the ball, he fights for the extra yardage, but the hit right there by Isaac Holt stripped the ball loose, and Ron Fellows hopped on it in the end zone.
Giants lose the ball, and Dallas takes over. Stockton and Merlin Olsen back at Texas Stadium. The Giants used up 7 minutes and 56 seconds and came up empty. Phil Simms completed the pass, but now the Cowboys start from their 20-yard line. Troy Aikman, the quarterback, has plenty of time on 1st down, dumps it off to Emmitt Smith, the rookie running back, and picks up close to 9 yards on the play. Renee Thompson, who's starting in place of Mark Collins, makes the tackle. Here's the Giant defense. And there'll be a lot of substitutions, as Merlin mentioned. Eric Dorsey and John Washington started in with Eric Howard, the nose tackle. Linebackers Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor outside. Steve Diassi and Pepper Johnson the inside backers. In the secondary, Collins did not start. Thompson did, with Everson Walls, the former Cowboy, Myron Guyton, and Greg Jackson, the safeties. An emotional return for Everson Walls in an enemy uniform. 2nd down and 2. Emmitt Smith has the 1st down as he crosses the 30. Steve Diassi, another former Cowboy, makes the stop. Up front for Dallas, Mark Tuinei, Crawford Kerr, Mark Stepnoski, Tony Slayton, and Nate Newton. Jay Novacek is the tight end. Emmitt Smith, the first running back pick #1 since Tony Dorsett joins Tommy Agee, the fullback. Kelvin Martin and James Dixon are the wide receivers. It'll be a 1st down for the Cowboys on their 31, scoreless with just under 6 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter. Once again, it's Smith. And he gets a couple.
There is a mistaken notion around the NFL that the best way to handle Lawrence Taylor is to run at him. Bunk. They ran it. Lawrence Taylor with the young back, and Lawrence just stacked it all up. He had some good help from the inside, but he is tough at the point of attack.
With only 3 days of practice, picked up 3 sacks against the Eagles.
I told him he struck a blow for all of us who hated training camp, and he smiled at that.
2nd down and 9 for Dallas. Aikman fires. Dixon hit hard, but holds onto it. A fine catch by James Dixon and a gain of 21 yards into Giant territory. Myron Guyton on the stop and a hit.
Guyton almost took Dixon's head off here, but this is an excellent throw by Aikman. He has time, no big rush on him there, and a perfect strike. Watch the hit. You've got to have great hands and great concentration to hang on to the ball when you get blasted like that.
A 21-yard gain for Dixon, who starts in place of Dennis McKinnon. He's a guy who's made very few mistakes since he has started and played a lot. 1st down. Tommy Agee with his 1st carry. Takes a host of Giants to bring him down, and they're going to be called for it. A penalty. Pepper Johnson. And a personal foul will be marked off against the Giants.
You want to dominate defensively. You want to establish your physical superiority early, but you don't want to make dumb mistakes.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 52 defense, 1st down.
You don't want to encourage this Dallas Cowboy team if you're the New York Giants. You want them remembering that you've beaten them the last 4 times they've been out on the field against you. The way to do that is to jump on them early. The Cowboys right here feeling good about themselves. They'll feel even better if they can punch it into the end zone.
Troy Aikman a lot more assured and relaxed at quarterback in his second season. Has a first down on the Giant 30. There's A.G. out of the backfield, and the fullback gets inside the 25-yard line. Everson Walls making the stop on A.G. And that'll bring up second down. And the one thing the Giants kept insisting yesterday is that we don't want to put any gas in the Cowboys tank and give them hope.
I certainly don't. Tremendous pressure on that play by Eric Dorsey, number 77, as he barreled in on the quarterback, Aikman. But Aikman is a cool customer. He can look through that rush, which is difficult for a young quarterback, and still see his receivers. He got the ball off comfortably on that play.
Quick tosses. Second down and 4. On the draw play, and Emmitt Smith is going to be thrown for a loss that time. Eric Howard, who had an outstanding game against the Eagles last Sunday night, stormed in, and that'll bring up a third down.
Bill Parcells almost glowed when he talked about Eric Howard to us yesterday. Said one of his young players who's really come of age. Howard plays a tough position, not only nose tackle, but two-gap nose tackle, which means he doesn't take a side very often. That's as tough a job as there is in the NFL.
Dennis McKinnon is in at wide receiver. Leonard Marshall also checks in for the Giants, 3rd and 8. He's got time, and over the middle, Jay Novacek. Shy of a first down is Novacek as he is stopped by Pepper Johnson and Dave Duerson. They need about a yard or so. It'll be 4th down and a field goal attempt coming up. Ken Willis will check in for the Cowboys.
One of the things that the Cowboys have been able to do to Lawrence Taylor is to put a quality lineman in his face. Mark Tuanay has done a good job of giving him trouble over the last few years.
Willis will attempt a 40-yard field goal. Novacek will hold. And the snap is fumbled by Novacek, and the Giants are going to take over. I think it was Darrell Johnston who recovered it, but it's still Giant ball. So the Cowboys miss an opportunity here, as the Giants did.
On a hot day, your hands are sweaty, moisture on the hands, the nerves are there. Novacek looked like he had a good snap, simply couldn't get it to the ground.
Still no score with 1:38 to go in the first quarter.
Anybody can coach on Monday. It's the decisions and the adjustments made within the game that make the difference. Bill Belichick, defensive coordinator, talking to his troops about what they're seeing right at this moment on the field and how they need to adjust to it.
Giants with their second possession with 1:38 to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line. Sims to throw on first down, swings it out to Ottis Anderson. Good juke on Daniel Stubbs. Cowboys try to strip the ball away, but Ottis is savvy and picks up nearly 9 yards. Vince Albritton and Jack Del Rio make the tackle.
What did Bill Parcells say yesterday? That Anderson is a 2 cutback. Said you got 1 cutbacks and your 2 cutbacks. He gives you that little shake, and you saw it right there. Little fake to the outside, little juke, and then back inside, picking up that extra yardage. That's so important. That's why the Giants respect experience. They go out and get these players who have that experience and then utilize them.
Second down in the yard. Here's Anderson. Very close to first down yardage. Danny Noonan got to him first, and it is a first down for the Giants.
We talked about the rotation of 6 backs, and we've seen it bite down, but Ottis Anderson still being expected to carry the load in the short yardage and neutral situations, first down situations. They started by running him outside, now shifted gears and have taken him back inside.
Well, the days of Anderson carrying the ball 25 to 30 times a game may be gone, although he's starting off strong here. 1st and 10 for the Giants on their 39. Stubbs storming in on Phil Sims, and the pass intended for Howard Cross is incomplete. Good pressure that time on Sims.
Stubbs did not buy the fake. Left-hand side of your screen, number 96. Riesenberg bumps him but misses him right there. No chance. Sims did a great job just to get rid of that football. It was almost caught. But Stubbs already 1 sack and a second hit on that play.
Former San Francisco 49er came over in a trade along with Terrence Flagler. Flagler, to surprise of many, didn't work out and was dropped.
He didn't want to be a part-time player. He says, I want to be a full-time player. Well, he'll get that chance here.
Second down and 10. Ottis Anderson carries a few tacklers with him. Close to midfield and very close to a first down as well. Daniel Stubbs and Vince Albritton are there to make the tackle as time has run out. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Texas Stadium with the score. The Giants nothing and the Cowboys nothing. We begin the second quarter here at Texas Stadium. Surprisingly, the Cowboys have hung in at least for the first 15 minutes. No scores. You look at the way the sun is here at the Texas Stadium with the semi-roof.
3 o'clock start and the sun has drifted down. A tremendous difference, light and dark on the field. You can see how bright it is at one end and how dark at the other. That makes it tough on receivers. They're looking back into a dark background trying to pick out the ball with the light coming down on them.
Lewis Tillman checks into the Giant backfield on first down on the New York 49. And Tillman is hit in a great safety blitz. Ray Horton came in unmolested and made a fine defensive play in a loss of about 3.
Dave Wannstedt, the defensive coordinator, talked about being aggressive defensively. He shows it right here. Excellent play. Horton taking the legs out right there on Tillman, puts him on the ground.
Horton did not play last week, had a stomach virus. James Washington filled in for him. It'll be 2nd and 12 here. Dave Meggett lines up at the top of your picture. Pass caught by Bavaro. Tries to lunge forward, will be just shy of first down territory. Jack Del Rio makes the first stop, and Vince Albritton then comes in. We're at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas on a sweltering afternoon, over 100 degrees on the field. This is Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen, two teams who won their opening games, playing a divisional contest in week 2 where the Giants have won 4 straight over the Cowboys. No score. 3rd down and 1 on the 42. Maurice Carthon appears to have the first down.
Giants, a team that loves to come right at you and challenge you physically. Their philosophy, very simply, is we're not going to beat ourselves. We're going to play basic, sound, aggressive football. And if you can play that kind of game with us, you can stay in the game. If you can't, go home.
A lot of teams have gone home playing the Giants, and what they do is hope that they get a turnover somewhere along the way and capitalize on it.
Well, so far there have been mistakes in this game. A tragic one for the Giants, who had taken the ball all the way down the field, only to see it fumbled into the end zone.
First down on the Dallas 40. Sims with a deep drop, and Bavaro with his 3rd catch of the game has big yardage and is ridden out of bounds inside the 15 by Eugene Lockhart. And once again, Bavaro all alone and a gain of 29 on that play.
I asked Bavaro before the game, are you 90%? He said, no, not up to 90%. Well, when he gets back to 100%, look out. Still bothered by that knee, but he's great at finding room in that zone. Lockhart takes him out of bounds here, but you know, there's some don'ts in the NFL, and one of them is don't try and tackle Bavaro low. You are high. You go in at him low. You go up high, he'll break you in half.
And a 1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. Ottis Anderson gets inside the 10 to about the 6. Tackle made by Horton and Lockhart. It'll be 2nd down.
Big, strong offensive line up front. They're coming to the left. That's Moore, number 60, pulling out with an excellent block there. Riesenberg coming over to block on the counter play. Picked up a nice gain on the play. 2nd and what, about 4, Dick?
2nd down and close to 5. And the Giants can get a first down without scoring. 10th play of the drive coming up. No score. Ingram winds up wide to the left. Here's Anderson. Fights his way to about the 4-yard line and gang tackled by Lockhart and Norton, 2 of the linebackers. And that'll bring up 3rd and short for the Giants.
Ottis Anderson had his first game against these Cowboys as a rookie. Said he still remembered it. About 169 yards on that particular day. And as a young back, he could avoid 2 or 3 tacklers. At this stage in his career, he can get by that first tackler, and then he'll just put his head down and give you everything he's got. And maybe that's one reason why Parcells loves him. Boy, he's got his head there. He's sucking air right now, but I promise you, he'll go on this play full speed.
Jimmy Jones, a rookie inside pass rusher, is checked in for the Cowboys. And the Giants have called a timeout. We'll be back to Texas State. Novacek, the Cowboys starting tight end who fumbled the snap on the field goal attempt and had to make a tackle, has a bruised left shoulder, and he's dazed here on the floor at Texas Stadium.
I think he may be a little embarrassed, too. He's a very dependable holder, and dropping one for what would have been a relatively easy chip shot field goal has to be embarrassing.
Giants started from their own 28-yard line. The 12th play is coming up right now, and they've chewed up just about 5.5 minutes. It'll be 3rd down and 3 at the 4. Anderson and Maurice Carthon line up in the backfield. Sims, a lot of time. People are covered. Sims will run, and he'll get in for the touchdown. Call him the veteran scrambler, if you will. And Sims puts the Giants up 6-0.
34-year-old quarterbacks don't get chances to run for too many TDs. Nobody home. Couldn't find the open receiver. But this is a smart quarterback. He'd rather take the sack than a chance to throw it away. Watch him. Looking left. Looking left. He's got 3 receivers. Nobody there. There's a great block by Bavaro right there. That's a deep leader. Knocked his man right flat on his back. They love having Bavaro back in the lineup. Sims are going to give him a raise himself.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe.
Hostetler will hold for Raul Allegre. The kick is good. And the Giants, 4 minutes into the second quarter, score first and lead the Cowboys 7-0. Phil Sims talking to upstairs. The Giants lead 7-0 on Sims' 4-yard run when his receivers were covered. And now Raul Allegre will be kicking off for the Giants. Deep for the Cowboys. On the left is James Dixon. Alexander Wright, rookie wide receiver, on the right. Kick heading over for Wright. 2 of them collide on the goal line. Wright brings it out and doesn't get it to the 15-yard line. And great special teams hustle by Lewis Tillman.
Second effort, such an important word. Mark Bavaro will cut his man at the line. That's Stubbs. But then watch what happens. Turn it loose. As the quarterback begins to scramble, Bavaro will make a second block. There's the cut right there on Stubbs. Look at the right edge of your screen. Bavaro looks back and it gets his man Del Rio right there and puts Del Rio on his back. That springs the way for Sims to get into the end zone. What a great play.
Bavaro's also caught 3 passes. Cowboys on the 14. Rob Awalt has come in at tight end, replacing Novacek. First down, and the pass intended for Awalt had his hand on it, couldn't hold on. Myron Guyton was defending on the play.
Guyton thought that ball was his. He was going up for the intercept. But Awalt, with those long arms and that looping stride, was able to get there and get his hands on it.
In Awalt and Novacek, the Cowboys boast 2 former Cardinal tight ends.
Well, they're certainly not strangers to the Giants. They've seen a lot of these guys over the years.
Second down and 10. Cowboys on their 14. Emmitt Smith. Or 2. John Washington and Pepper Johnson in on the stop. Emmitt Smith making his debut as a starter. And a tough debut it is against the Giant defensive line.
I talked to him just before the game. I Said, "Are you excited?" And his eyes were just as bright as they could be. I said, "How did you sleep?" He said, "I slept well." And I said, "What are you going to do right now?" He said, "Well, I'm going to go in there." He said, "Darryl Nelson is going to quiz me on all the plays." He said, "I don't want to make any mistakes." What a nice young man. A great talent. They're expecting big things from him here in Dallas.
Lawrence Taylor lining up on a 3rd and 7. That's where he's dangerous on passing situations. Aikman's pass incomplete. First tip by Renee Thompson. It was intended for James Dixon, who might have had a hand on it as well. And that'll be 4th down, and the Giants could be looking at good field position following this punt.
Last week against the Eagles, the Giants used a single down defensive lineman, adding a whole host of linebackers. This week they've used 2 linemen on that play. We'll see more of that, I'm sure, during the day.
Dave Meggett, who returned a punt 68 yards for a touchdown against Philadelphia, is deep.
You kick it away from that guy.
Mike Saxon doesn't have a whole lot of room. He's on his 2-yard line. Giants will be peeling back for the return. End over end, and Meggett at his 40. Into Dallas territory to the Cowboy 48-yard line. A 44-yard kick, and Ken Norton makes the stop on Meggett. Giants seems to have handled the heat so far in a 7-0 game. But at least they do care, and even though they haven't sold out in a while, they have exuberant fans. 1st and 10 for the Giants on the Cowboy 48. Lewis Tillman, the running back. Ingram in motion. Tillman cuts outside and gets good yardage. The Giants are really getting good 1st down runs from their backs today. Jim Jeffcoat made the stop in a pickup of about 9.
Now here's the rotation paying off that we talked about. O.J. Anderson carried the load early. Now Tillman's in there. Tillman out of Jackson State said that, as you might expect, Walter Payton, one of his idols. I said, "Did you ever meet Walter?" He said, "No, I broke a lot of his records, but I never got a chance to meet him."
How many people could say that? Hampton and Meggett come into the game. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Sims incomplete, and they're going to throw the marker down. Rodney Hampton was the intended receiver. Ken Norton might have been over the top a little bit too much.
Pass interference, number 50 defense, 1st down.
And it'll be a Giant 1st down.
That big wall up in front doing a fine job. Riesenberg and Moore and Oates and Roberts and Elliott all working hard. Let's see what happened on that play. Here's Ken Norton dropping back, a very quick and agile athlete. Oh, no question. You can't drive through the receiver before that ball arrives. Good call.
On the 35 of the Cowboys, Giants lead 7-0. Lewis Tillman head down, picks up 4 yards. Danny Noonan and Tony Tolbert are there to make the tackle.
Noonan at 6'4" and 270, knocked backwards by Tillman at 6'0" and 195. He really took a sock. Tillman has got some real power.
Tillman started the opening game against the Eagles last week. Cowboys look at him as maybe the most complete back of all the Giants. 2nd down and 6. Tillman again. He's got a 1st down inside the 20-yard line. Albritton and Norton make the stop, but not before Tillman picks up 13 yards up the middle.
Watch the great cut. Tillman going into his left, and right there, a slide step across, finds the opening over there between Moore and Riesenberg, and then accelerates into the secondary. That's good football, and this Cowboy defense has yet to stop the New York Giants offense.
Tillman has averaged 6 yards a carry in 4 attempts, and it's a 1st down on the Dallas 19. 3 tight end alignment. There's an opening for Tillman, and he dives to the 15-yard line. Ray Horton cuts him down there, and the Giants picking up good yardage on 1st down on the ground in this 1st half.
And we're at a point in this game when you'd expect to see the heat start to have an impact. I've got to believe that right now, with that with the Cowboy defense down at the sunny end of the field and that heat beating down on him, it's going to start taking its toll. Although if you're wearing a dark blue shirt, you're soaking up more of that sun's energy. That's what you do at home. You make the enemy come in and put on a dark shirt and put them down where it's a little hotter if you can.
2nd down and 6 for the Giants. Here's Tillman. He's been a workhorse on this possession. Gets to the 10-yard line. Robert Williams and Ray Horton on the stop. But the way the Giants have been moving the ball on the ground, the heat may not be a factor late in the game if they continue to add to their lead.
Generally, most of the players in this situation would be standing up right now. Cold towels and a seat on the bench, the order of the day as you try and get cool. They do have some high-powered turbine fans down there to keep the air moving, but believe me, it is scorching hot down on that field.
3rd down and 1. Ottis Anderson in the game, and Anderson close to the 1st down. Jimmy Jones was the first to reach him. Anderson went over 1,000 yards last season, a 12-year veteran, slow getting up as we have 6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. That's what Ottis has done so far today.
They're going to measure the 1st down. Ottis saying, we got it, don't worry about it.
Does not. It is a 1st down. Makes a good official.
He does. The angle made it look like he might be wrong. We talked about the Giants being rejuvenated by people like Ottis Anderson. Johnny Cooks came in here from Indianapolis. DeOssie from Dallas. Everson Walls, Dallas. And Duerson. We haven't seen a lot of him today. I think he's another very valuable addition. In fact, in talking to Bill Parcells yesterday, he said with those 2 vets in the backfield, he said, I really feel good about our defense.
1st and goal at the 9, and Lewis Tillman up the middle, and the Giants have tested the Dallas defense to success up the middle. Eugene Lockhart and Jimmy Jones make the stop. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 5. 7-0 New York with 5.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Giants trying to make it 2 wins in 2 weeks against divisional foes.
When you play against a physical football team, you have to be able to match up on the line of scrimmage. If you want to stop them, you've got to go head-to-head with them. The Dallas Cowboys have not been able to do that. The Giants have been able to repeatedly knock them off the line and continue to move the ball down in short yardage.
The ball is at the 4. Tillman on the pitch. Stopped at the 1. And it'll be 3rd down. Jack Del Rio on the tackle.
Stretching the defense to the outside. You'll see a good block in there by Howard Cross, number 87. Good blocking by 66 inside Williams, and now down right close to the goal line, just a matter of less than a yard.
Everyone excited in Dallas with the victory over San Diego, but a big step upward and a much more important test today against the Giants. 3rd and goal. Ottis Anderson, and he gets in for the touchdown.
Number 24, Ottis Anderson with the touchdown.
A silent crowd and a bitter response from Jimmy Johnson. The Cowboys committed themselves inside. Ottis Anderson went outside. Good block, Carthen, right there to spring him into the end zone.
Giants lead at 13-0. Raul Allegre to add the 14-point. Hostetler holds. It's perfect. And with 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the 1st half here in Dallas, Anderson and Sims have scored touchdowns for the Giants. The old pro Ottis Anderson with a touchdown from a yard out, and the Giants lead the Cowboys 14-0.
At 14 points, if you're a Dallas fan, is bad news, but had it not been for the fumble into the end zone, there'd be another one on the board.
Short kick by Raul Allegre. Alexander Wright at the 11 returns for the Cowboys. He's got great speed. He's got one man to beat, and he does. He's going to score. Touchdown, Dallas. No flags are down.
Parcells very proud of his special teams. They went to sleep momentarily here, and that's a 4.25 sprinter and a 40-yard dash. He runs more than a 40 here, but you see him taking advantage of that great speed, and the Cowboys celebrate.
A 90-yard kickoff return by the second-round draft choice from Auburn, Alexander Wright. And now Mike Saxon, the punter, will hold for Ken Willis. The kick is good, and the Cowboys all of a sudden trail by 14-7. Alexander Wright, who missed nearly all of camp as a holdout, was the 26th pick in the draft. Early in the second round, returns a kickoff explosively, 90 yards, and it's 14-7. Ken Willis kicking off. It's been 10 years since someone has returned to kickoff against the Giants. Short kick, Meggett on the 10. And he stopped at about the 23-yard line by Stan Smagala, a rookie from Notre Dame.
When Jimmy Johnson came to the Cowboys, he said simply, we have got to get some more speed into this team. He had the slowest team in the NFL. Last year, he began to work on it. Look at what he's done from 1988 to 1989 to 1990. Dropped the speed of the receivers by 0.2. Speed of the running backs is down. Linebackers all across the line. This is a faster team. And you saw a huge payoff of it right there, because Wright was drafted with his speed as a prime prerequisite. I talked to him yesterday in the locker room at the Cowboy training facility, and I said, you think you can slip in there and do something tomorrow? He said, I'm just trying to learn this system, but I would like to make something happen. Well, he just did.
The Giants have used their second timeout of the first half with 3:53 remaining.
Confusion? Sims apologizing.
Saturday on CBS, baseball with the Cardinals and the Pirates. We have really 3 solid races in the major league. Some of you will see the Red Sox against the Yankees, noon Eastern time. The Red Sox right now lead has been cut to 2 games over the Toronto Blue Jays. The Pirates are only 1/2 game ahead of the Mets, and even in the loss column. So that's next Saturday here on CBS Sports. Put a charge in the crowd here at Texas Stadium when it looked as if they were put to sleep by the way the Giants were driving. They had controlled the ball for nearly 8 minutes the first time, and in 5.5 the last.
Special teams will keep you in some ball games. We saw that right there. This has been a game dominated by the Giants, but that one play was a big equalizer.
First down on the 24. Lewis Tillman driven back, and it was Willis Crockett, a rookie who was activated this week.
The Cowboys doing some rotation of their own, moving people in and out. Crockett comes from the left-hand side, number 90, right there. Puts a bumping stop on and drives the ball carrier back. Sometimes a big play like that on special teams will ignite a defense and turn them on.
Have had a big edge in time of possession. They lead by 7 points. Second down and 9 on the 25-yard line. Sims getting some pressure, dumps it off to Tillman. Tillman will get a first down as he finds the open spaces beyond the 40-yard line. David Howard and Willis Crockett make the tackle. but not before Tillman gained 17 yards.
This is exactly the kind of play that Sims talked to me about before the game. He said, we ran screens last week against the Eagles. They didn't go for yardage, but we will continue to run them because we have backs now who can make people miss like that and make the big plays downfield.
Ken Norton was the linebacker who missed, and the Giants have a first down on their 41. Ottis Anderson now in the backfield. Gets the ball. Breaks a tackle or two and picks up about 5 yards. Willis Crockett winding down to the 2-minute warning.
It is tough to play against a team that is so good at using their weapons and a team that has so many weapons.
And using the clock the way the Giants are.
Using the clock. You can wave all the towels you want, but you got to get something stopped down on the field, folks.
So our 2-minute warning here at Texas Stadium, and we'll be back after these messages.
The turf itself before the game more than 117 degrees. That's that surface. You see the Dallas Cowboys. This was during the timeout. Trainers out there with water splashing them down. You notice they've all taken a knee and they are beginning to fatigue, and they're rotating people in and out of this lineup. Lots of new bodies in there.
Mark Collins is being helped off. That could be a very tough injury for the Giants. The cornerback, one of the best in the league. Second down and 5 for the Giants on their 46. Sims' pass caught by Odessa Turner, and it's a good catch inside the 40 and a first down. Robert Williams defending on the play, and the Giants chalk up 16 yards on that play.
Good heat on Sims on this play. They're coming with the blitz as the Cowboys blow through on the outside. That's David Howard, 99, getting some heat there. 92 Tolbert coming in as well, but Sims had it right into the hands of his receiver, and Odessa able to use that big body to shield himself on the sideline and get it down for the reception.
Talk about the Cowboys going to give people some relief. Daniel Stubbs is the only member of the starting front four in there right now on the defensive line for the Cowboys.
This heat is hardest on the big man, and I've got to believe that the Giants offensive line is going to begin to suffer too, even though they're in good shape.
I think they're taking a look or checking the clock. There's Mark Collins, and we'll get a report on
well, they're saying they're going to review that last play. And
Please reset the stadium clock to 1:52. Please reset the stadium clock to 1:52.
That'll help the Giants because they're driving into Dallas territory. It's at 1:24 right now. Drive started on the Giant 24-yard line.
We'll say it again. This Dallas defense has not been able to stop the New York Giants offense at all today. They carried it down the first time, fumbled it into the end zone, and they have put points at the end of each drive since.
And they've got a problem with the clock still.
You don't mind that on a day like today. You get a chance to take a few extra breaths down there.
First and 10 on the Dallas 38. Sims going for Stephen Baker. Incomplete. Vince Albritton really gave him a lick as that ball sailed well over his head.
Bill Parcells said very simply when we asked him about this Dallas defense, he went through a few names and he said that Albritton kid, I don't like him either. You see why. He is a real hitter back there.
Report on Mark Collins is that he may have a sprained left ankle and they're going to take an x-ray. Meanwhile, the Giants with 1:47 remaining in the first half have a second down and 10. And the starting defensive line back in there for Dallas. Sims on a screen to Hampton. Trying to pick his way and dodge forward inside the 30. Undercut by Robert Williams and close to a first down. And the clock starts, a minute and a half remaining. And it is a first down for New York.
Hampton, another one of those juniors that opted to enter the NFL draft.
And now they mark it 3rd down and less than a yard. They did not measure it.
Someone has laser eyes out there as they will give the Giants a chance to punch it in.
Now the Dallas Cowboys have used their first timeout.
Fatigue. They say, let's get it together. A couple of deep breaths.
Well, also with 3rd and 1. This will be a good down to stop the Giants. We'll be back. Carries to about the 22-yard line with under a minute to go. It is a first down for the Giants. Ray Horton and Vince Albritton, the 2 safeties in on the stop as the Giants get set for at least a field goal try before the end of the half.
A most unusual first half in the sense that the Giants have only had 4 possessions, and they have driven and sustained drives all 4 times they've had the ball.
First down on the 22. Sims was intended for Turner, and there was Albritton defending, and Ron Francis also there. Francis was the man.
Turner pulled up on that play. Looked like he's bothered by some kind of leg problem, maybe a cramp perhaps, which is not uncommon on a hot day like today, heading up the sideline, but pulled up on that particular play. Sims had that ball in a position where it could not be intercepted.
Giants lead 14-7. Sims ran 4 yards for a score. Ottis Anderson ran for a 1-yard touchdown, and then Alexander Wright returned the ensuing kickoff 90 yards for a touchdown. This is the 9th play of this drive for the Giants. 2nd down and 10. Sims has room to run. A fumble recovered by Jeffcoat, and Dallas gets it back. Stripped the ball from Phil Sims.
Bill Parcells just said deja vu. He's having flashbacks and seeing Jeffcoat raise up and catch 2 passes batted by 2 tall Jones and carry them back for touchdowns. This play, watch the strip right here. Hendricks right there in behind number 45. Jeffcoat right on the spot, lumbering up that sideline.
Is this why he calls this place the Voodoo House after all of these things have happened to the Giants over the years?
A very strange play, but a heads-up play by 2 players, Manny Hendricks and that man right there, Jeffcoat, hustling down, staying behind the play, and the Cowboys have stopped the first drive of the day.
A 28-yard return by Jeffcoat, and you know he's going to be heaving on the sidelines.
Literally?
Maybe.
He might be.
First down, Dallas on their 40. Troy Aikman. And his pass is caught by Awalt out of bounds with 9 seconds to go. And the ball is placed at the Giant 36. A gain of 26 yards with Everson Walls in on the play. There's Jeffcoat.
He didn't run that far. You can see what an effort that was. I don't think you can realize how difficult it is to play this game in this kind of heat with those full uniforms and pads on and still crank it up for 100%. You go to the sideline, you feel like you're going to pass out.
Jeffcoat, by the way, has had a good history against the Giants, having scored 2 touchdowns in the past against them. And he was Johnny on the spot there. So 9 seconds to go, and Dallas, they don't have much time. They still have 2 timeouts to maybe set up a field goal possibility. Want to remind you, coming up at halftime, Greg and Terry with all the scores, highlights, and latest information.
A few surprises today around the league, a few major upsets, and I'm sure what's going through the Giants' mind on the sideline right now. They have dominated this game offensively and defensively. But a couple of big plays, the fumble into the end zone, deprived them of 7 points. The big kickoff return put 7 points on the other side. And now suddenly a turnover, and Dallas has an opportunity to get themselves on the board again.
The Cowboys had to use a timeout there, which they did. They have 1 left. First down on the 35. Maybe an audible called by Aikman out of the shotgun, hit from behind, loose ball. And the whistle blows, and they said that Aikman was down. by Carl Banks.
Banks coming in from the right-hand side. He and LT had switched sides. Banks flying in from the right side. Number 58. Watch him as he breaks outside. Oh, LT is inside. So they've stacked both the linebackers over there. Banks goes outside, LT inside, and you got to look for LT. Banks said, thank you. I'll take him.
Well, what that play might have done is possibly really take the Cowboys out of a field goal try. If they had clicked there and called a timeout, they might have had time. But now with 4 seconds left, they may have to be content with going for the Hail Mary or trying for the touchdown.
Jimmy Johnson said something to us yesterday. He said, we can't let the Cowboys control the football and take us out of the game.
Giants, of course, control the ball many times in the past against Dallas. And there goes Jeffcoat into the dressing room.
Jeffcoat still exhausted, but when Johnson was talking, he was talking about the Giants controlling the football, taking them off the field offensively. They had very few plays offensively, and this is the kind of first half he did not want to see. As we said, he's been blessed by a couple of big plays that have softened the blow, but if it continues, they can't stay in this ballgame.
Giants go way back into prevent. 8 men back. 3-man rush. Aikman going deep for Kelvin Martin, and the pass is intercepted.
Great interception
by Everson Walls, and that's what he wanted to do, come in and pick one off, and he does to end the first half in what has to be an emotional game for him. And that is the end of the first half here at Texas Stadium with the score, the Giants 14 and the Cowboys 7.
The Cowboys just are thrilled to look up at that scoreboard and say, hey, we're one play away from bringing this game back to even. I think it's the kind of position they hope to be in, not the way they had hoped to do it. 2 big plays in that first half. The first, a fumble that cost New York 7 points, and then this home run by Alex Wright. A huge monster play in this game that turned the emotion around in this game, puts points on the board for the Dallas Cowboys. What is it, once every 10 years the Giants give up one of those, and Bill Parcells is saying, why now, guys, why now?
And of course Phil Simms had the ball stripped from him, and Jim Jeffcoat returned it when the Giants were going in and driving and were in field goal range at least. But 14-7 is the score. What do you foresee now in the second half, Merlin?
I still think that the heat is going to be a major factor, and it tests not only the conditioning of the athletes, but maybe even more importantly, the courage of the athletes. You've just got to suck it up and go. We're going to find out who the courageous players are, because everybody is going to be tired in this second half.
Raul Allegre kicking off. James Dixon and Alexander Wright are deep. It's going to be Dixon at the 5. Penalty marker is down. Dixon is tackled at the 25, and that will probably be an illegal block against the Cowboys. Here's Jerry Seaman. That's the one penalty in football that you can determine before the flag hits the ground.
Jimmy Johnson not pleased. That marches his starting offense back, and they have not been able to do a great deal here today.
Holding during the return, number 55 receiving team, first down.
Jack Del Rio, the illegal block. Mark Collins will not play in the second half for the Giants. He was taken off the field with a sprained ankle. And the Cowboys will begin from the 15-yard line. And who would have thought going into the second half that the Giants would have more turnovers than the Cowboys?
Well, the Cowboys hope to keep it close through 3 quarters, and then they're going to win with their conditioning. Let's see how the game plan works.
First down. Here's the rookie Emmitt Smith. Dives close to the 20. Carl Banks and John Washington in on the stop.
Dick, the big men suffer the worst on the field on a day like today, and one of the biggest on the field, and he is the biggest in fact, looks like 2 people. Nate Newton, big number 61. They call him the kitchen, I think because he ate everything in the kitchen. Came into camp at about 340 pounds. A lot of people can't understand. They offered him $35,000 if he'd come in at 315. He came into camp at about 342 pounds. Last year had the same offer, didn't make it then either. That's $70,000 he could have had in his pocket. He's trimmed it down pretty good. Weighed in last week at 322. but he's a man who will suffer on a hot day like today.
And a timeout has been called by the Cowboys. So Troy Aikman, not sure of what the offense is, wants to get straightened out before he runs the play. And, you have something here that many of the players are now wearing underneath those jerseys on a hot day.
You really can't do a lot. You take as much fluid as you can, and this is what the Cowboys have done. They've gone to a special T-shirt called the Cool Max. It just looks like an ordinary T-shirt, but it's a special polyester blend that wicks the sweat away from the body, and the perspiration evaporates much more quickly, keeps the body a little bit cooler, and of course the body burns tremendous energy trying to cool itself. This shirt will help. All the Cowboys, or most all of them, will have them on under those uniforms today.
How much weight did you ever lose in a real hot steam game?
I think the most I ever lost was 24 pounds in a game in New Orleans in the old stadium there, and we left a couple of guys packed in ice that day and didn't know if they'd survive.
And you never gained it back. Second down and 5 on the 20. Aikman. And right through the legs of Dixon, it appeared, and arms as well. And a penalty. Nope. No penalty marker thrown. Incomplete. No one defending. Greg Jackson and Walls were closest.
Each of these players today will lose an awful lot of weight. The smaller players, maybe 7, 8, 10 pounds. Some of the big men up around 20 pounds. Most of that they'll gain back within a few hours after the game. They're drinking liquids constantly on the sideline. You see them over there getting the Gatorade, getting the water. After this game is over, you can't believe the amount of liquid that they'll consume trying to get their bodies back.
Leonard Marshall and Dave Durison in the Giant defense right now on 3rd down and 5. Roll out for Aikman. The pass is tapped. Carl Banks got a hand on it, incomplete, and so Dallas will punt in their first possession.
Lawrence Taylor has had some difficulty here today, and in part because they're paying a lot of attention. 2 blockers on him on that play, Walt, and 2 in A, and 2 in A doing a good job of getting his hands very quickly on LT, and you want to discourage LT. I think everybody who plays him will say the same thing.
You kind of said you didn't think he was going to have a gangbusters day, and he hasn't so far. There's Dave Meggett, who's back, and Mike Saxon will punt for the Cowboys. The Giants lead 14-7. And a fine kick by Saxon. Meggett back to his 24. And he is tackled at the 38-yard line by Vincent Smith. Penalty marker is down, however. Lawrence Taylor taking a breather. That was a 56-yard kick by Mike Saxon. And slow getting up is Smith.
57, Vincent Smith.
And they're going to mark it off. It'll be. It looked as if they were going to mark it off.
It goes against the Giants.
Against the Giants.
Yeah, it'll be against the Giants.
Smith is being walked off the field after that collision.
Receiving team, first down.
You can actually take yourself to the point where you pass out on a day like today.
And Atlanta, San Francisco. On first down, Mark Bavaro dives forward for a first down to the 34-yard line. Jack Del Rio and Robert Williams makes the tackle, and good for 12 yards.
You've got to be thrilled to see Mark Bavaro back if you're a Giant fan. To see him back is such an important part of this offense. Secure hands, great hands. Turns up the field. That's not a pretty sight if you're a defensive back or a linebacker, to see Mark Bavaro turning up the field at you.
After the reconstructive knee surgery, it's tremendous to see him back. If you're a Giant fan, he has caught 4 passes for 68 yards. First down, Lewis Tillman slipped, and Lockhart, Norton in to make it count. We're there on the play, and no gain, maybe a loss.
I think those shoulder pads on Lockhart may be the biggest shoulder pads in captivity, and he just absorbed Tillman on that. He just swallowed him up like a big whale.
He was gripping something when we talked to him yesterday, and he says, I have a broken finger on my right hand. I break it in the first game every season.
And doesn't complain. Just goes right about his business.
Second down and 11. Sims completes the pass to Odessa Turner. They pick up all but a yard and a half, close to a first down. Last week the Giants had 8 different players catch passes. Turner caught 1 last week. Tillman and Maurice Carthon check back into the lineup on short yardage, 3rd down and 2. Tillman to carry is close to the first down.
It looks to be just slightly short of it. They may have to measure on this play.
Jeffcoat and Norton
all in the spot.
Danny Noonan, starting right tackle for the Cowboys, was treated for heat exhaustion, and he may be back in the game. Cowboys have lost Jay Novacek, their tight end, and the Giants are without Mark Collins, who won't be back with a sprained ankle. It is a first down for the Giants.
First down, Giants.
Jimmy Johnson, who was looking to protect the ball and hold the ball and get time of possession edge, hasn't been able to do it, but here he stands with 12 minutes or so remaining in the 3rd quarter, down by only a touchdown. First down on the Giant 45. Sims gets some pressure, dumps it off to Tillman. Tillman stopped by Jack Del Rio. Picks up just a couple on the play.
And big Eugene Lockhart also out there. This is the kind of play that starts to get painful defensively. The pursuit to the outside wears you down. You got to keep going out there. You know that. You just tell your body to go. And pretty quick your body said, who? Me? I ain't going out there. It gets tougher and tougher. That's why they're rolling people in and out. The Giants, again, really have only been stopped on 1 drive all day. That was the one that they turned the ball over on. Actually, 2 times they've turned it over, 1 into the end zone.
2nd down and 8 now. Hampton and Megan are in the game, and Rodney Hampton gets clobbered as he catches the ball about a yard and a half shy of the first down. Ken Norton on the big hit, but Hampton held on, and the Giants about 2 yards shy. And they're going to bring in their short yardage people on 3rd down and 2.
Not uncommon for the Giants to use 3 tight ends in this kind of situation. They put real heat on you physically, and that's their style of football. We talked about it earlier. It's matchup football. They're not trying to finesse you or fool you. Not a very sophisticated system in terms of number of formations, the number of plays. They just come at you and give it all they got.
In Dallas territory, kind of an awkward play by Jimmy Jones, the Miami rookie.
His legs were too tired to pick him back up. He started inside, and on a normal day,
prior to the snap, number 97 defense, first down.
He would have been able to get his feet up underneath him and get back.
But he
just gave it up.
Yeah, but it's a first down, and that's...
Here he is. Watch him now. Starts in. He actually could not stop. And that's just pure and simple fatigue on that kind of play. One of the things we'll have to watch. When you really get tired, there's a tendency to lose concentration. There's a tendency to get careless. That could mean turnovers. It could mean blown assignments. And that could lead to big, big plays here in the last part of this game.
First down Giants on the Cowboy 42, leading Dallas 14-7. Tillman going outside. Dives to the 35-yard line. Isaac Holt makes the play on Tillman. So it'll be 2nd and short. How many times today have the Giants been in 2nd and short? I'd say most of the possessions.
The perfect situation. The pure options that you get in that situation, that's as dramatically opposed to 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 15. Those 2nd and short downs are the easy ones. Ron Earhart is upstairs saying, boy, I love this. I love the options I have as an offensive coordinator.
2nd down and 3. Tillman. That time the Cowboys stormed in with Ken Norton. It'll be 3rd and short. And Tillman's gained 49 yards so far, but a good play by Ken Norton.
Kenny Norton has had a couple of big plays today. The fastest of these linebackers, very quick inside. Howard also there. as they were able to get to the ball carrier before he could really get started. And Tillman has shown us great acceleration today, but one way to stop the back is to get to him before he can get moving.
Both teams have been substituting freely, and for Dallas, a team that doesn't have that much depth, their reserve line, inexperience, has been affected. They've committed some penalties here. Play action on 3rd and 3. Sims sees the receivers covered. Noonan chases him, and he's knocked out of bounds, very close to the sticks.
He is almost up to a first down, but I don't know if he picked it up.
And Sims and Noonan exchanged some unpleasantries over at the far sideline.
Watch Sims, the long arm fake here, thought better of throwing this football, and this is something he does so well. He would rather eat the football, make the most of it, than take the chance on the interception. Now let's watch him after the play. He gets up. Hey, come on, Danny, you can't take me out of bounds like that. He thought he'd been hit out of bounds. Noonan just doing his job, and it is painful to make that sprint to the sideline.
Measurement coming up. 8:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Still 14-7. It is a Giant first down.
First down,
Giants started on their 23-yard line after Dallas could not move deep in their own end in the first possession of the second half, and the Giants once again chewing up the time of possession in this game.
Once again, you look to the scoreboard and you say, can this game be a 14-7 game? The Giants continue another long drive, another dominating drive by the Giant offense. But those drives and that domination has not put a lot of points on the board.
Tillman slipped by the first tackler, but no gain, as Ken Norton has been able to penetrate the Giants offensive line effectively.
Norton doing a good job accelerating in there. And there's Kenny Norton Sr., someone who is obviously more than interested in the play of a son. Looks pretty good. Looks you might be able to put a uniform on him.
He may be in better shape than Nate Newton.
Dallas absorbing this. What was that, the rope-a-dope that they use? The same kind of situation here, isn't it? Punching them out.
Sims throws it out of bounds. Baker, the intended receiver, and Robert Williams covering on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Sims has been throwing for a very good percentage today. He's had a fine afternoon. The Giants have turned it over twice, both on fumbles. Everson Walls intercepted a pass for the only turnover by Dallas just before the end of the half. 3rd and 10.
We've not seen much 3rd and long today. Giants back to the familiar shotgun.
Sims up the middle, completes it to Hampton, and Hampton breaks a couple of tackles inside the 15, and finally carried out of bounds at the 5. Let's see where he stepped it. It'll be marked at the 6, and Ron Francis made the play, and the Cowboys, poor tackling, had Rodney Hampton short of the first down yardage. It was Bates who missed.
A very dependable Billy Bates in on this long yardage situation. Finds his man. He's right on top of him. But Hampton, with good arm strength, and then watch him just pull out of that tackle right there. That's sheer power. And Bates, the man who could not hang on, as Hampton ends up on the 5.
26-yard gain. Bates is upset with himself. It is 1st and goal at the 6 for the Giants. Here's Tillman. And Tillman gets to the 4-yard line. Bates makes the tackle. The Giants have converted 9 of 10 3rd down situations. Most of them have been on short yardage. That was one that was not. Horton made the stop, and not Bates, who we saw on the sideline. Second and goal now at the 4-yard line. Giants come in with the 3 tight end package now with Bavaro, Howard Cross, and Bob Morosco.
Giants have hit outside on the short yardage package throughout the day. Let's see what they do here.
Play fake, Sims all alone. Bavaro, touchdown Giants.
Like stealing cookies on that one. Bavaro all alone out there. The outside, right-hand side, nobody home. Finally, a totally exhausted Eugene Lockhart heads to the outside, but Sims says, finally, we get some more points on the board.
And Mark Bavaro has caught 5 passes today, including his first touchdown of the year. Giants in front 20-7. Allegre with a conversion, and with 5:51 remaining in the third quarter, Giants totally dominating the game on the field, leading now by a score of 21-7. Only as a blocker, not as a receiver. Different story today, with a touchdown reception and 5 catches, and has done a pretty good job blocking as well, Merlin.
I think that might be an understatement. We've seen him throw some great blocks here today.
Allegre kicking off. James Dixon. Run by Tillman, but Greg Jackson rides him out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line. An 18-yard return. There's Phil Sims, who connected with Bavaro. Sims has thrown a touchdown pass and has scored one himself today.
Sims has been on the field for 54 offensive plays. The Dallas Cowboys have run 17 plays so far in this game. Amazing.
And that's keeping the defense on the field much too much.
He's not sweating yet. He's not sweating yet.
Well, he's the only one in the place.
He may be the only one not sweating.
On the draw play, Tommy Agee. The Plan B pickup who played so well against the Chargers, stopped by Gary Reasons, who's gone in for Steve Diassi, but not before he gets to the 23. Talking with Bill Belichick yesterday, Reasons, of course, has not started this season. He has played a lot. Steve Diassi has, and he says they're basically both even, and we can use them anytime. So it's a half and half situation.
He's delighted to be here. He said, hey, this doesn't bother me. I grew up down here, Fort Worth. His mom and dad are here for the game, his sister and his sister's husband. He's enjoying the day.
2nd and 7. Here's Agee. Lawrence Taylor over there to make the play, and help from Everson Walls as well. Gets to the 27-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and short for the Cowboys.
There was a time in the NFL when you played yourself into shape. That's what Lawrence Taylor is doing right now.
But there aren't many players who could come in as Lawrence Taylor did last week and have 3 sacks the way he did. He's an unusual specimen. I mean, look at Leonard Marshall. He was a holdout, and it's taken him a little bit longer.
There's only one LT. Around the league, personnel people are saying, the coaches go to them, give me an LT, bring me an LT. A BLT maybe, an LT. No way.
3rd down and 2. Darrell Johnston has come in and a penalty marker down. They still had time on the clock.
False start prior to the snap. Number 68 offense. Still 3rd down.
There's the concentration factor.
Crawford Kerr, the left guard. And he's been around. Mark Tuinei is the most experienced. There he is, number 71 of the front line. He's been around 8 years, and Kerr has been 6, and the others are really playing new positions or playing only their 1st or 2nd year.
Stepnoski, the center, came in as a rookie last year and just really was embarrassed early in the year. In fact, the Giants do not have high regard for him even now, but he is learning. You've got to learn in a hurry in this business.
3rd down and 7. Aikman's pass caught. Darrell Johnston out of the backfield. He's got a 1st down at the 41. Dean Duerson, nickel back, making the tackle, good for 19 yards.
Mark Tuinei, right side of your screen, number 71. You'll see Lawrence Taylor trying to get in there. Tuinei doing a great job. He's matched up man-to-man, pushing LT deep to the outside, giving his quarterback time to throw the football.
Tuinei played well against Taylor the last time these two met. And a false start.
Well, we pat him on the back, and what does he do?
He comes back and pays us for it.
Well, short trigger. When your responsibility is LT, you better be off and flying on that ball.
False start prior to the snap. Number 71 offense, still first down.
There is some relief on the field now. The sun is completely gone, dropped down. The advantage of starting at 3 o'clock. Otherwise, we would still, if this was an early game, we would still be in extreme heat. But the sun now down to where we're getting a little cooler.
Alexander Wright has come in the game, the rookie wide receiver. He accounted for the only Dallas score today with the kickoff return. First down and 15. Pressure on Aikman, gets it off to Emmitt Smith. And Smith makes the catch and is hit by 3 Giants at the 40. Lawrence Taylor was the main man in there, and good pressure though. Leonard Marshall really put some heat on Aikman.
I said earlier that Aikman will watch on every play where Mr. Taylor lines up. And definitely he is going to be a factor, even though he has not had the kind of day he had last week in that cool evening. In fact, last week, watching the replay of that game, they were wearing long sleeve shirts.
Giants have only 1 sack today, that by Carl Banks. Second down and 11. Aikman has to get rid of it in a hurry. Kelvin Martin has it. First down into Giant territory at the 46. Renee Thompson defending. That's a 13-yard pickup for Dallas.
They call him Kmart, and they love to go to him. He's become the go-to receiver here in Dallas. You see why, as he does a good job of breaking up on Renee Thompson. Renee in there because of the injury earlier in the ball game to Mark Collins, who had to leave. Thompson, another one of those people with roots here in Dallas. In fact, he's got a brother, Joseph, who's a blue chip high school player here at Richardson High School.
He's been a great special teams performer. Here's Smith. Bounces off one man and picks up a couple. Minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Taylor was in on the stop there. Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Second week of the NFL season. 2 teams who won their opener. And the Giants, who have on the field had every statistical edge right now except for turnovers, lead 21-7. Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen here. And the Cowboys have a second down and 7 on the Giant 43. Pass is caught by Awald. See if he made the catch and fumble it out of bounds. He did. Got a few extra yards to boot. And that may be close to a first down, and they may have to bring it back because you can't fumble it forward. And the official has it marked back on the 38-yard line, on the 41. Banks made the hit.
Awald in the game because of an injury to Novacek earlier on the day. You see Banks just blast that ball out with a sharp punch of the hand. We've seen several balls batted away today. Back to the spot of the fumble. 3rd and 5.5 yards to go. Jimmy Johnson feeling a little better about things. At least his offense is finally getting a chance to move the ball.
Dennis McKinnon has come in as his extra receiver. Going deep for Alexander Wright. Covering was Perry Williams on the play. And a good coverage that time by Williams, who had been a starter for the Giants for 6 years.
Williams looked like he got lost momentarily on that, but he stayed stride for stride with Wright down that sideline. Wright showing some maturity. Didn't panic, just waited, and at the last minute the hands went up. The ball was not able to be caught, but good play. Saxon, however, into the ball game to kick it away.
Meggett standing on the 10. And there's a fake. And Bill Bates dives forward, and I believe he's short of it.
Irony that Bates would be the man carrying that ball. Last week he was the man tackling the man carrying the ball. Gary Plummer tried an ill-fated fake punt last week that ended up being the difference in the game. The snap to Bates very quickly. He gets up inside. It's Abrams, number 51, who makes the first pop.
And David Whitmore, another rookie, also in on the play, and the Giants take over on downs.
A man worth his weight in gold, Ronnie Barnes, head trainer for the New York Giants. Parcells will talk to him constantly. He wants to know, can they go? Who's hurt? Who's dehydrated? Who can play? Who can't play?
It's one of those scenes that occur away from the 100 yards out on the field. Rodney Hampton on first down, brought down by Norton after a couple. That may be the last play of the third quarter. Wasn't a bad idea to fake on that situation because the Giants don't have good field position as they started that drive, and if they made the first down behind by 2 touchdowns, it would have been a boost to them.
You don't want to kick it to Meggett. We know that.
And that's the end of the third quarter. You're right with the score. Giants 21. Back here at Texas Stadium as we start the fourth quarter, Dick Stockton and Merlin Olsen. It's been hot all day, but it's under 100 at least down here, close to 90, and the Giants leading 21-7.
That's good news. We started well over 100 degrees today.
Time of possession, huge advantage to the Giants. Second down and 9 for Phil Simms. He's had a run a couple of times, and smartly goes down with it at the 42.
You saw that little smile at the end. Simms knows that he probably should have gotten at least a step or 2 further. My gosh, maybe he was tired. Maybe he went down.
Third down.
Bill Parcells, of course, wants his offense to be mistake-free if they can. And Simms, as I mentioned, makes good decisions. And when he does pull that ball down, he's not afraid to take it upfield as he did on that play. Instead of the sack, instead of the potential interception, got a 5-yard gain.
Ingram, Hampton, and Meggett have come in. Hampton goes in motion on third down and 5. Simms got some good pressure there, intended for Meggett. Manny Hendricks defending. Tony Tolbert put some good pressure in on Phil Simms, and Sean Landeta will be coming in to punt for the first time today.
Tolbert with those long arms, a little bit reminiscent of Ed Too Tall Jones. Such a thorn in the side of the Giants and so many other teams, but Tolbert with that great reach, sometimes able to make those same kinds of plays.
Well, here's a fresh player, Sean Landeta. Going back deep for the Cowboys is Dennis McKinnon.
The only guy in the field that had to warm up.
Good high spiral, and McKinnon will let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So with 13:59 and a penalty marker is down, you couldn't get a better look than that at it. We'll wait and see. 57-yard kick by Landeta, and the penalty will be against the Giants.
Question as to whether you want to take it on a day like today. Run that Giant punt coverage team down the field again. Run your own punt return team down the field. You might see them refuse this penalty.
And then again,
you might see them make it kick it again. Jimmy's got to make that choice. You can make a case either way.